The defense needs to know how to close out a game. Both times they've given up big plays at the end of the game that put the team in position to win that game. The offense has done what it needs to do to win. The defense has kind of let them down.
Hold up. You can't just say that, okay, because they didn't play complementary football against Baltimore. Okay, the defense struggled in the first half. The offense struggled in the second half. The defense did what they needed to do to let the offense win that game in the second half. Brian Hoyer even said it. We didn't score when we needed to.
Exactly.
They didn't get the field goals. Those got blocked. Brian Hoyer, they get down to the red zone. They can't score, Terry. They didn't play complementary football.
I don't understand why.
I wish we had the ability to call up last week's show, because you and I last week were talking about Brian Hoyer, and he could have a great game, but you're going to say he's going to have that bad pass when the game is on the line, and he's going to blow it, and that's why I say this. Well, the game was on the line,
and he
for
didn't
2
win.
weeks.
He didn't win the game,
and
he
put a ball. All right, can we just talk about?
He's 1-2.
When they're down, Shanahan's play calling is just terrible.
No, I don't think it is.
It was just like the Steelers. He had Hawkins run over the middle. Hoyer, although it was behind him, it still hit Hawkins in the hands, and he dropped it on a third and 8.
That's execution. I'm tired of hearing bad play call when the plays aren't executed.
Wait.
That is so frustrating.
When you're running the ball that well in a game, in any game, why would you stop running the ball?
They got to go 80 yards down the field, Spence.
It didn't matter against the Saints.
It matters against Baltimore when you're going up against Haloti Ngata.
Let me say this.
When you're going up against T-Sizzle.
You have the ball. There's under 3 minutes to go.
You can run the ball.
The other team has, one timeout? And you pass 3 times? That's play calling.
Execute.
That's play calling.
Execute.
That's play
Brian
calling.
Hoyer did not execute when the game was on the line against Baltimore.
I cannot believe you're still putting this on Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer did not execute when the game was on the line.
Clock running. You run the ball. You ran that ball the whole game.
They were dominating. They were dominating their defense.
Brian Hoyer didn't make the plays when the game was on the line. He did it against New Orleans, didn't do it against Baltimore.
I cannot believe you're putting this on Brian Hoyer.
Look, I gave him credit.
This is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Because I saw what he did. He got him into the red zone. Did they score in the red zone?
No,
Answer the question.
No, they did not.
Did he throw a touchdown in the red zone?
No, they did not.
Okay. Did he drive him down there? Yeah. Drive was halted. Then Billy Cundiff.
Yeah, if you're gonna put
God knows what happened on those.
If you put it on anyone, you put it on Billy Cundiff. He had a 32-yard field goal, and then, the 50-yard, I can understand him missing.
He's never made a 50-yard in his life.
Exactly. Under 35, he's perfect. But Billy Wynn actually kind of blew that block on the left.
block was on, and the snap was bad on the first one.
Right, but the thing is, Brian Hoyer let them into that position. They score one of those field goals, they win the game.
I understand. All I'm saying is the plays on the offensive side weren't made. Did the defense?
But the plays weren't made on the defensive side either.
In the first half. In the first half. Yes, I get that.
With 2 minutes to go in the game, who was winning?
Terry. Was it complimentary football?
With 2 minutes to go, who was winning the game?
They didn't win because they didn't play complimentary football.
You're not answering the question. With 2 minutes to go, who was winning the game?
It was the Browns.
The Browns. Did the Browns have the ball in the last 2 minutes of the game? No. The Browns, Hoyer, and the offense did not lose that game at the end. Twice.
Don't tell me the defense lost in that game when they came out ready to play the second half and the offense stalled.
The offense completely stalled.
It was not.
Didn't step up when we needed
Why did they win? Why did they win in New Orleans?
Let them drive down the field, kick a game-winning field goal.
Why did they win in New Orleans? Why did they win in New Orleans? Because they played complementary football. That is when the defense goes out there and plays well, and the offense is able to score. What it was this time is the offense was scoring in the first half. The defense was not doing their job. Second half,
then it flipped.
To win games, you have to play complementary football. That's what this team has struggled to do.
Okay, so now you're saying because the offense did not score in the second half, it's all the offense's fault because they did not play.
Even though they put up 21 points.
All I'm saying is when the plays needed to be made. Let me answer the question.
No,
when the plays needed,
answering it. You're coming up with more stuff. Come on, just
when the plays needed to be made.
Yes or no?
It's not a yes or no question. No, it's not.
It is. You said in the game because they did not score in the second half and the defense was holding them, it's all the offense's fault because they didn't play complementary
The second half's their fault. The entire game? No, because I'm sitting here blaming the defense in the first half.
Wait. Week 1. That offense was awesome in the second half.
Wow, yeah, it was.
But you want to blame Hoyer for the loss.
I
For
completely,
how bad he played in the first half? Yeah.
I have to completely agree with Terry. You're ridiculous,
No,
Ben.
I'm not.
But anyways,
because I give credit where credit's due and I don't.
Let's go.
You have two different games.
Here's a statistic for you.
I look at each game to game, Terry.
Here's a statistic for you. He's completed 156 consecutive passes without an interception. How can you not be convinced that he's the guy?
I'm just not. I'm not convinced. Because we're 1-2, Spencer. I'm not convinced he's the guy.
By a total of 5 points.
Well, awesome.
My gosh.
That's great. Whether it's 5 or whether it's 100, guess what? It's still 1-2.
Let's talk defensive. Let's talk defensive
game
problems.
One, the offense had a second half that was unbelievable. Nobody gave them a chance to come back in that game. The defense let it up, but yet you still want to blame Brian Hoyer and the offense.
Let's see. Defensive problems. Statistically.
Did they score enough points to win?
Hey, listen, Ben.
Sorry, they didn't.
Statistically, they are the 4th worst in the NFL. The run defense is 28th in the NFL. They've allowed 461 yards to opponents. Defensive backs, 25th in the NFL.
Oh.
Joe Hayden got burned.
Joe Hayden's horrible right now.
He's looked terrible.
Joe Hayden's looked horrible. And I'm not.
Justin Gilbert's looked terrible.
I know. Don't sit there and say I'm not criticizing the defense because I know how bad that defense has been when they were the unit that was supposed to be the strongest unit coming into this. All I'm saying, with that loss to Baltimore, it wasn't complimentary football when it needed to be complimentary football. The defense played bad the first half. Come in the second half, they make the stops. That interception didn't score. When you're not scoring off opportunities, that's my problem.
Off of turnovers, you have to score off of
that
turnovers.
That is your job.
Look,
you dropped the ball when it was your time to make the plays when you needed it to.